And what it's going to do is across the board, whether you're looking at the Gulf Coast or the West Coast or Diego Garcia or any other U.S. Facility, or if you're looking abroad, you're going to have a higher likelihood of a 100-year event happening in a 10-year time cycle every time you look at any of these questions.
100-year storm, and we've had 3 of them in the last 10. Okay? I hear you. I understand that. My point is, I have to understand natural law, the physics that we have it, the genetics of Gregor Mendel and all the other people that follow them. And what I'm saying is, guys, God is great. Huh? My God, where's the ACLU? There is a remarkable regenerative power within our world. But it isn't in 5-year or 10-year spots. Okay? And the same with our Navy doesn't even work on 5 or 10-year spots. We got a new 5-year plan coming up, right?
We are stewards of the earth. And I didn't come here to have a religious discussion. I came here.
Religious. I'm trying to make a point of pretty secular natural law, not religious.
Well, I think we appreciate the point. Yeah. Is there anyone else who wants to?
The answer to you is no. I don't think that we can go because we have never gone as we've gone before. It's never been business as usual. Where you wouldn't have the electric light bulb for us, you wouldn't have the horse buggy to the automobile. You wouldn't have every improvement that we've enjoyed in our short 50 years.
When I go out to, in the summertime, I live in southern Maryland, around a lot of those wetlands, and I'm worried about mosquitoes. So on a regular basis, about every week or so, I go out there and I spray DDT, and I keep my house warm in the winter, cool in the summer, because it's all insulated with asbestos. These products were designed by wonderful engineers, and they really work well. Right? Guess what?
Well, wait,
what happened?
Yeah, they do.
What happened was
how many people have died from 3 things you said?
Progress continues. Change continues. When science catches up with the full consequences of anything that contributes to a better quality of life. And by God, in World War II, thank goodness we had DDT. Or hundreds of thousands of people would have been stricken by malaria and other mosquito-borne diseases. Thank God we had asbestos, because in the industrial age of the United States, it brought us helped to bring us a tremendous economy, a great navy, and all of the other things that we enjoy today. But we learned more. Science told us more about some potential downsides. And I take a look at these EPA-administered Superfund sites. I say they are monuments to the United States of America and the goodness of our government and our people to recognize that when we know there's a price of progress, we are willing to change. And that's what this is all about in my mind. This is just another challenge in a long history of this great nation that, is the science complete? No. I'll bet that there were companies and there were people when some crazy scientist or writer or whatever started complaining about DDT or asbestos or anything else, said, bull crap, heck no, we can't do this. This is wonderful stuff. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Well, when I got ready to retire, my wife gave me a sampler, and it said, when God closes one door, he opens another. It's just hell in the hallway. And the problem in the hallway is when we change from one thing that affects our lives in so many ways, our economy, our standing in the world, our society, and we're proposing that there might be a problem that would cause us to have to change, it's hell in the hallway. We don't like change. It's tough. There are some winners in the near term and losers, but ultimately, when that second door opens, it's usually a better place. So that's the point that I'm making. I think you and I philosophically are completely aligned. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Be careful of taking climate change as something that is inevitable did stop DDT, and all the people in Africa got malaria.
Yeah.
And now we're putting it back out there.
Yeah,
Maybe not the
in a different way, internally and inside buildings.
The question to ask on all of these dastardly things that the engineers have done is how many people have died from those chemicals or that other thing. Actually died. Keep in mind that conception is the most fatal disease there is. Before you conceive, you can't die. Once you conceive, you can't. And then get on with it.
I want to
Yes,
ask,
sir.
yeah.
I'd like to make a point. I think part of the answer to your question is I think business does not operate as usual in this country. I think it is changing greatly. But every business that wants to operate as usual is taking their business and moving it to another country or another world. And as a result, we have this chaos in the hallway, so to speak. And so we see this incredible growth in China, in India, and everybody's looking around and saying, hey, what about the United States?
Yeah.
I think that's a point we better keep in mind the whole time.
I think you're right, because we could, if the legislation weren't right, we could actually encourage and accelerate more of that offshore migration of critical technologies and jobs, and I think that's a real valid concern for us.
This reminds me. Actually, my area of focus has been U.S.-Russia relations and arms control. And Admiral McGinn, when we were chatting earlier, described that scenario as unilateral disarmament. And that's not something, even if you're a big supporter of arms control and arms reductions, which I am, that's not something you ever want to do, because you unilaterally disarm and you make yourself vulnerable, and you convince the other guy that having the weapon is more important. So I think the danger here is absolutely correct. But what does the solution look like? And I'm not going to be so conceited as to suggest that I could describe the entire thing, but a part of the solution definitely is you've got to get everyone around the table globally. You've got to get the Indians and you've got to get the Chinese at that table. And the question is, what does it take to get them there? I think the problem we have right now is that the developing world says two things to us. They say, number one, this is your fault. Because if you think about it, it kind of is. I mean, we've been developing for 100 years and enjoying the fruits of industrialization, and they haven't. And their answer is, well, it's you created the problem. We're just now catching up. At least let us get up to where you are before you start telling us that we've got to play by your rules. And then the second thing they tell us is, well, pay up then. If you want us to cooperate, if you want us to adopt these policies, you got to pay us. You got to make it worth our while. So I think that any solution to this problem, you're absolutely right. We cannot unilaterally disarm on this issue. Thank you. Forget it. Any solution on this issue has got to get the Indians and the Chinese and the Brazilians and the Russians at the table. And the key question is, can we do that if we proceed as usual? The answer is no, because they love the way we're proceeding right now, right? We're making a mess of our own policies. We have no national strategy, and they're enjoying the fruits of it.
What should our national strategy be?
I think you just hit on the key things that I was going to bring up. So, background, I'm a military reservist captain. I worked up in Ottawa N4.
God bless
we're
you.
actually an aviator as well, captain. So I'm both a businessman and a reservist, and we're actually dealing with this issue with a program in the Navy called Task Force Energy, which is the Navy's level is kind of looking at how we kind of solve for this operation. One of the things